Now, many of us who are moms now, well, we were Girl Scouts way back then. Remember the friendships, the trips, of course, the Girl Scout cookies. But one thing we really didn't have to deal with back then, quite honestly, social media, Twitter, Facebook, cyberbullying. All these things can do a number on a girl's self-esteem. But the Girl Scouts of America are doing something about it, launching its flourishing new leadership program, Journeys. Joining us to talk about why it's so important for girls to develop a strong sense of self at a young age is Dr. Andrea Bastiani Archibald, developmental psychologist at Girl Scouts of the USA. Good morning, doctor. It's so good to see you this morning.
It's so great to be here. Thanks so much.
You know, when I read that a girl's self-esteem peaks at 9 years old, I just thought, and it takes a nosedive from there. I had no idea, doctor, it was that early. How are the developing habits of girls so different in grade school and as they progress?
I think girls of today are just being hit by all sorts of different things that we just didn't have to deal with at earlier ages, at ages like 9 and 8 and 7 and 6. We do know that girls come into the world with a pretty strong self-esteem, but peaking at 9, that is worrisome, and that's why we've developed our latest leadership program called It's Your Story, Tell It.
I love that. I wanted to ask you, why is it so important to build their self-esteem and leadership skills at a young age? Because at 9, you would think that girls or that kids in general have such a strong sense of self because they're so innocent. They don't know to be any other way.
You know what? At 9, they're starting to know. They're starting to become more aware and compare themselves to the world around them. Their talents, their skills, their physical attributes, everything. They're becoming more cognitively capable of doing so. And certainly the media and new technology is really hitting them with a number of different images and messages every day that they are able to understand, but not necessarily able to navigate how that relates to their own sense of self.
That makes sense, because when somebody sees one person wearing something, everybody wants to wear it, and so girls have a tendency to not really want to be a leader because maybe they don't think it's so cool. So I wanted to ask you, what does it mean for a girl to be a leader in her own life? Is it something that they do have naturally, doctor, or is it something that they have to learn?
I think some girls certainly do have it naturally. We're all different. We come into the world with different backgrounds, and our parents and families and communities certainly support different things, but we can all use that extra boost. In our National Leadership Program from Girl Scouts of the USA, our Journey program helps girls be leaders in their own lives as well as leaders in the world. Being a leader in your own life might not be as heady as it sounds. It means you're confident, you know your values, and you're maybe willing to stand up for them in ways that other girls wouldn't be. It means you have some healthy relationship skills. You might be more inclusive and or willing to stand up to a bully in the cafeteria. These are leadership skills we're helping develop in girls today in an age-appropriate and fun way that they can take in to their schools and their communities the very next day. They've had the nice practice in a safe all-girl environment, and they can translate those skills fairly seamlessly.
And so how do girls then take the skills and the lessons that they learn early on in life, in Journeys or in Girl Scouting, for example, to school or into new social situations they face as they do grow older? Because girls these days who do take that leadership role, ultimately, don't you find that other girls follow them? They're like, oh, I want to be like her. And that's something that I don't think maybe a lot of girls get when they're 9 years old.
We're hoping more and more girls are becoming Girl Scouts, and we'll get those. But we want all of our girls to be strong and solid role models, and that will encourage other girls in positive ways to become like them, because certainly there are plenty of not so positive role models out there, and girls with perhaps lower self-esteem might be more influenced by those.
Now, it's called Girl Scouts, so that means girls only. How does an all-girl environment foster girl self-esteem, leadership, and ultimately help them have fun together?
We are the premier leadership organization for girls. We always have been. We're approaching our 100th anniversary. We love getting girls together. We are a strong sisterhood, and we know that girls are willing to take different risks, to try on new leadership roles and develop new skills and be more comfortable doing so when boys aren't in the room, in a more single-sex environment. And that's not to say that they can't then carry those skills into mixed-sex groups. We want them to do so. Our world is full of wonderful men and women. But when we engage them in the all-girl environments and provide that safe support, we find that these skills then translate really seamlessly for them.
So the Journeys program, tell me about it. How can people get involved, Doctor?
The leadership program called the National Journey Program is a wonderful one. Our latest one is called It's Your Story, Tell It. It's funded in part by Dove, and it engages girls in creative expression, storytelling, and ultimately self-esteem building. If people want to know more about the program, they can go to our website, www.girlscouts.org. If you're not already a girl or adult member as an adult volunteer, you can also go to our website and find your local council and find out a way to get involved locally.
Wonderful. I want to ask you this before I let you go. 100 years, how are the Girl Scouts of the USA remaining relevant to the modern girl of today after 100 years of service?
We have to do so. We represent 2.3 million girls. There's no way around it, and we want to remain relevant, interesting, and engaging to girls. We actually have a wonderful Girl Scout Research Institute that conducts the research that you mentioned at the start of the segment, actually, on social media, as well as a whole host of other studies on boys and girls to find out what their needs are, what their interests are, the best ways to engage them so that we can incorporate those activities and content areas into our national program.
Well, I love the work you do. And once again, where can we go for more information?
That's www.girlscouts.org. I don't mind saying it twice.
I was going to say, give you another opportunity there. It was so good to meet you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
It was great meeting you, Danielle. Thanks for having me.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.